Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today we will read more news on the star. Okay, this just in. Shabu. Then what is it? Huh? Thai power broker proud with court peace among warring forces as election years. Internet. Itu pun. A thousand around the world. Okay, so first we'll look at this. Take it down. A tool for teens to remove explicit images. Okay, it was posted today 11 a.m. Now it's 11:35. So quote unquote, once you send that photo you can't take it back. Goes to the warning to teenagers, often ignoring the reality that many teens send explicit images of themselves under duress or without understanding the consequences. A new online tool aims to give control back to the teens or people who were once teens to take down explicit images and videos of themselves from the internet. It's called Take It Down. Take It Down. There's only dictionaries of it. The hell? Probably not out yet. Take It Down. The tool is operated by the US National Center for Missing and Exploited Children and funded in part by Meta Platforms, the owner of Facebook and Instagram. Doesn't sound very trustworthy. The site lets anyone anonymously and without uploading any actual images create what is essentially a digital fingerprint of the image. This fingerprint, a unique set of numbers called hash, then goes into a database, and tech companies that have agreed to participate in the project remove the images from their services. Now the caveats, caveat, a warning for visual or specific stipulants, condition or limitation. A notice lah. Now the caveats are the participating platforms are, as for February 27th, Meta's Facebook and Instagram, Yubo, OnlyFans and Pornhub owned by MindGeek. If the image is on another site or if it's sent in an encrypted platform such as WhatsApp, it will not be taken down. In addition, if someone alters the original image, for instance cropping it, adding an emoji or turning it into a meme, it becomes a new image and thus needs a new hash. Images are usually visually similar, such as the same photo with and without an Instagram filter will have similar hashes differing with just one character. Quote unquote, take it down is made specifically for people who have an image that they have reason to believe is already out on the web somewhere, or that it could be, said Gavin Portnoy, a spokesman of NCMEC. NC. You are a teen, and if you're dating someone and you share the image or somebody extorted you and they say if you don't give me an image or another image of you, I'm going to do XYZ, quote unquote. Portnoy said teens may feel more comfortable going to a site than to involve law enforcement, which wouldn't be anonymous, for one. Quote unquote, to a teen who doesn't want that level of involvement, they just want to know that it's taken down. This is a big deal for them, he said. NCMEC is seeing an increase in reports of online exploitation of children. The non-profit cyber tip line received 29.3 million reports in 2021, up 35% from 2020. Meta, back when it was still Facebook, attempted to create a similar tool, although for adults back in 2017. It didn't go over well because the site asked people to basically send the encrypted nudes to Facebook. Of course they wouldn't. For the not the most trusted company even in 2017. The company tested out the service in Australia for a brief period but didn't expand it to other countries. In 2021, it helped launch a tool for adults called Stop NCII or NC2, either way, or non-consensual intimate images, so NCII, aka revenge porn. That site is run by a UK non-profit or a UK revenge porn helpline, but anyone around the globe can use it. But in that time, online sexual extortion and exploitation has only gotten worse. For children and teens as well as for adults, many tech companies already use this hash system to share, take down, and report law enforcement images of sexual child abuse. Portnoy said the goal is to have more companies sign up. We never had anyone say no, he said. Twitter and TikTok so far have not committed to the project. Neither company immediately respond to a message for comment Sunday. Antigone Davis, Meta's global head of safety, said Take It Down is one of many tools that the company uses to address child abuse and exploitation on its platform. In addition to supporting development of this tool and having reporting and blocking system on our own platform, we also do a number of different things to try to prevent these kinds of situations from happening in the first place. So, for example, we don't allow unconnected adults to message minors, he said. This site works with real as well as artificial intelligence generated images and deepfakes, quote unquote, Davis said. Deepfakes are created to look like real, actual people saying or doing things they didn't actually do, from AP. So next article is Pokemon Sleep game coming this year. The longer you sleep, the higher your score. Is it bad or is it good? Okay, Tuesday 11:16 a.m. Right now it's 11:42. Tokyo AFP, Pokemon's last major smartphone hit, Pokemon Go, had fans on the move hunting and the lovable characters, but its next release will focus on more relaxing activity, sleep. The Pokemon company has revealed it will release Pokemon Sleep across most of the world in summer 2023, 4 years after its first announced plans for the game. Is it a different game or the same game? Different event. Trailers for a new game is a different game. Trailer for a new game combining a smartphone sleep tracker with gaming. Your adventure takes place in a small island where you carry out research on how Pokemon sleep. You'll work with a large Snorlax who lives on the island, and Neroli, a professor who's studying Pokemon sleep styles. The longer you sleep, the higher your score in the morning and the more Pokemon you'll see appear around Snorlax, the company said, urging players to rest your very best. Fans will also be able to buy Pokemon Go Plus, a Pokeball-shaped gadget that users can place by their pillow, with Pikachu's voice offering cute prompts when it's time to wake up or go to sleep. The company's Pokemon Go game, which saw players track down the pocket monsters using their phones, was an international phenomenon. The free game uses satellite locations, graphics, and camera capabilities to overlay cartoon characters on real-world settings, challenging players to capture and train the creatures. But players were blamed for traffic accidents and other violations that as they roam the streets buried in their phones. Oh, that's true. Pokemon has been a global hit since it launched its role-playing game in 1996 for Nintendo's Game Boy console. The franchise, whose slogan is "Gotta catch them all," also includes movies and hugely popular animated TV show made by these dudes. Okay, third, national. This is national. 100,000 ringgit worth of shabu seized. Two nabbed in Malacca drug bust by Sardi Mahorim. Posted today as well, 11:23. Right now it's 11:45. Malacca. Police have busted a drug syndicate that used a condominium unit here as a packing and distribution point. Melaka Police Chief Deputy Com Datuk Zainul Samah said two local men, aged 24 and 35, were arrested during the early morning raid on February 23. The suspects rented the unit to pack shabu for distribution around Batu Pahat district in Johor. He said on Tuesday, February 28. Oh, today. DCP Zainul said police also confiscated 31 kilograms of drugs worth estimated 100,000 ringgit during the raid. The suspects belonging to worth 21,763 ringgit, including 13,000 ringgit in cash, were also seized, he added. The suspects tested positive for drugs and were found to have criminal records. They have been remanded, he said, adding that the case is being investigated under Section 39B of Dangerous Drugs Act 1952. The raid was conducted following a tip-off from members of the public. Okay, now Nish. Closed air. Now, the why is the thing. Artist Joe Pamaniaga shares man who allegedly strangled twin sons. Regular have checked for the MPs. There's already read. ASEAN Plus. Multi-University. Yeah, that one is probably for the last one. So next article would be Impatient Wait for New Hospital by Iliakila, Metro News. For years, Kampar folk in Perak have been hearing about new district hospital that is slated to replace the 71-year-old Kampar Hospital. Oh, dang. To them, it is necessary as existing facility in Jalan Hospital, Kampung Masjid, and can no longer accommodate the needs of visitors, patients, or even its medical staff. Teacher Siti Azura Zulkifli, 39, who goes there for her children's checkups, opinion that the existing hospital could no longer handle the volume patients. They have editor here. Let me just post just like that. We have heard talk. We have heard talk of a new hospital for ages, but it has not been constructed yet. Kampa is such a big district with thousands of people, yet our hospital is in a poor state, she said. I think it's because the current hospital is so small, it doesn't have enough specialist space here. I once I forgot the quote. Quote unquote. I once waited for more than 5 hours just for a specialist to attend my child. We need a hospital with better facilities, more parking spaces, and a specialist who are permanently stationed at the hospital, she added. The staff, especially the nurses, have been very helpful. When my late mother and late brother were admitted, the staff did a great job at providing medical care. However, the hospital does not have enough facilities and wards are often crowded, said Siti Azura. Once an accident occurred in Malim Nawa involving more than 5 cars and the emergency unit was crowded not only with the victims but also patients who are already there. There is an urgent need for a hospital with a bigger and better emergency ward, she added. Teenager G Maga Lechumi, a 16-year-old, who accompanies her wheelchair-bound aunt M. Vimala, 50, for a health check every few months, said some of the facilities at the hospital were not in good condition. The services are good, but the hospital needs proper facilities such as better wheelchairs and better wards, she said. Maga Lechami expressed worry that the new hospital would be far from their house. Since I don't drive, we usually take e-hailing car to the hospital from our house in Bandar Baru Kampar. A return trip is usually around 10 ringgit. I heard that a new hospital will be slightly further and will probably have to spend more on transportation. It is a concern as it will impact our finances. My family doesn't earn much, she said. Perhaps when there is a new hospital, there can be free shuttle services for people like my aunt and me, she added. A businessman who wished to be known only by Loh, 51, said he hoped that the new hospital project would be expedited. Quote unquote, the talk of building a new hospital has been ongoing since 2016. We have seen a change of government several times, but still no new hospital has been materialized, he said. I was born at Kampar Hospital and one of my children went there a few times. The condition of the hospital just seems to be getting worse. Fortunately, the staff there are very friendly and helpful. These days, we must drive to Ipoh or to either Raja Permaisuri Binary Hospital or one of the private hospitals there, he added. Loh said he hoped there will be lots of amenities surrounding the location for a new hospital. The current hospital is located in the middle of town. It is easier for patients to go to the bank or restaurant nearby while waiting for their turn to see a doctor. So I am hoping to see a similar facilities available at the new location, he said. Quote, people in Kampar deserve better medical facility. Places like Tapah and Siem River have big hospitals, while our hospital has yet to be improved, he lamented. Perak Health Committee Chairman A. Sivanesan said in December 2022 that the new district hospital would be built within 5 years. He said the state had identified a piece of 24.28 HA. Oh, I don't know what that's for. Maybe acres or something. Land in Kampung Changkat Baru and was in the midst of acquiring it back in from private landowners. Recently, Sivanesan said the land for a new hospital had been located in the middle of Malim Nawa, Kranji and Tanjung Tualang. The land is strategically located and is accessible by all in the district. There is also a huge space for expansion, as the hospital will only occupy 1/3 of the land, which means that we can have more parking bays. The new hospital will be equipped at least 200 beds, he added. On the existing hospitals, Sivanesan acknowledged that there are at least 6 major complaints. The road leading to the hospital is narrow and steep and may increase the possibility of accidents. The hospital has also informed me that it received complaints that the wheelchairs used by the patients are in poor conditions. The hospital is in need of a bigger waiting area for patients, while the women and pediatric wards are often fully occupied and crowded, he said, noting that the hospital is in need of more parking spaces too. The hospital currently has 68 beds, including 30 beds in the men's ward, 20 beds in the women's ward, 14 in the pediatric ward, and remaining 4 in maternity ward, he added. That's article. Regular health checks for MPs. Exclusive. Kuala Lumpur. Members of the Parliament, MPs, will soon have to undergo compulsory regular health checks to ensure that they are fit for duty. The latest move by Dewan Rakyat Speaker Datuk Johari Abdul Desdur comes after a recent scare when Gerik MP Fadul Huzair Ayub suffered breathing difficulties in the August House. I had a discussion with the Parliament resident doctor regarding the recent incident, and I am preparing instructions to have all MPs undergo medical tests once every 6 months. In Japan, they do like every month for employees. The instructions will be coming soon, he told the Star yesterday. Johari had previously proposed making it mandatory for all MPs to undergo medical checkups twice a year. Should be at least twice a year, not just twice a year. On February 20th, Fadul encountered breathing difficulties 5 times in his debate on the motion of thanks in the royal address. He has seen to be in distress as he loosened his tie while debating the motion of thanks. He looked nervous and spoke in a muffled voice, which made several MPs stand up to express their concern. He was ordered by Deputy Speaker Amli Muhammad Noor to seek immediate medical attention from the Parliament doctor. You have a private doctor there, why not just make it? The following day, Fadul assured reporters that he was in good health and claimed to have been merely overwhelmed by emotion during his debate, resulting in breathing difficulties. Yesterday, Health Deputy Minister Luka Nisman Awang Sauni also asked MPs to get regular health checks. Meanwhile, several MPs, including Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Seri Fadilah Yusof, supported Johari's proposal even going so far as to say that ministers should also follow suit. Yes, I'm all for it. Ministers should also go through a medical checkup every 6 months. It is a good practice, especially for those over 40, he said when contacted yesterday. Asked if the health checkups should be made mandatory, he said it should depend on the age of respective MPs or of each respective MP. I propose that those aged 50 and up have it once every 6 months, and those aged around 40 to 49 have it once a year, Fadilah said, adding that the Johari ruling should, of course, be subject to recommendations from the Health Ministry. Perikatan National Health Portfolio Chief Datuk Dr. Ahmad Hairi, PN 2 Kuala Langat, said he supported the proposal for regular checks for MPs. Perikatan won't have a problem if the proposal is implemented, he said when contacted. Datuk Arthur Joseph Kuruk, BN Persaingan, also supported the move. We have a clinic in Parliament which provides health screenings. Perhaps MPs should use that facility for such purposes, said Deputy Science, Technology and Innovation Minister. Deputy Finance Minister Datuk Sri Ahmad Mazlan, BN Pontian, said the MPs should have discretion on how regular their health screening should be. Such initiatives and efforts should come from each MP, he said. Meanwhile, Ku Poi Tiong, PH Kota Melaka, agreed with the proposed move but said it should be voluntary. I think it should be voluntary because there are no laws or regulations to make it compulsory. It would be strange to force MPs to attend health screenings or monitor each other so closely, he said when contacted. Ku added that MPs should be strongly encouraged to get a health check. He said that health screenings are essential because MPs must work tirelessly in their respective constituencies while also spending long hours in their rakyat. William Leong, PH Selayang, said it was a good idea to get MPs to the health check regularly. Politicians lead an unhealthy lifestyle and are always under tremendous pressure. It is good to do some preemptive health checks, he said when contacted. Datuk Lari Seng Wei Sheng, BPM, what's BPM? PBM. Julau also supported Johari's proposal but added it should not be mandatory and that the cost of health screening should also be subsidized by the Parliament. Oh well. Next, a man who allegedly strangled twin sons in Bukit Timah. Murder charges downgraded to culpable homicide. Tuesday 28, 11:25. Right now is 12 noon, 12:01. Singapore, the Straits Times Asia News Network, a father who allegedly strangled his 11-year-old twin sons in a canal in Upper Bukit Timah, had his murder charges reduced to a culpable homicide. And today, this oh well. Xavier Yap Jung Hoon, 49, was given two amended charges of culpable homicide not amounting to murder. According to court documents, he allegedly strangled the boys with the intention of causing death. He was earlier charged with murdering Aston Yap Kai Shen and Ethan Yap Yi Chen on January 21, 2022, between around 4:25 p.m. and 6:20 p.m. in the covered canal at Greenridge Crescent Playground. The prosecution said that the charges were amended following the release of a report by the Institution of Mental Health. Xavier was found to have major depressive disorder of moderate severity. Yap is presented by uh, Patrick Nai, Chu Si Sen and Chu Yan Lin from Tan Lee and Partners, and Muhammad Razin Sayyid Majunun from Advanced Law. He appeared in court via video link in a white shirt and is kept head down during proceedings. God dang. In earlier statement, the police said Xavier Yap had called them from the playground for help at 6:25 p.m. on January 21st. Aston and Ethan were found lying motionless in nearby canal and pronounced dead at the scene by paramedic. Twins were believed to have had special needs and attended a school in Angkong Estate area. The case is mentioned again in April 18. Those convicted of committing culpable homicide not amounting to murder, in which there was intention of causing death, can face life imprisonment and be caned or jail up to 20 years and fine or cane. That was Singapore. Last one. Man with a green plan meet Malaysia's new minister for the environment. We don't have this. Posted today 28 9 a.m. Malaysian time. By all accounts, Setiawangsa MP Nick Ahmad has had a privileged life. He says so himself in his book Malaysian Son, which he penned when he was 35, some sort of part 1 to his political career that started when he was just 19. His father, Nick Ahmad Nick Hassan, was the Secretary General at the former Energy, Telecom and Post Ministry for a decade, from 1978 to 1998. So the grudge-loving Liverpool FC supporting Nick Nazmi had a top education studying at Malay College, Kuala Kangsar, before reading law at King's College, London on a scholarship. Regarding as a political wunderkind, he rose up the ranks at PKR Youth to be elected vice president of the party last year, when he contested in the 2008 general election. He was the youngest candidate at 26-year-old. And upon winning the Seri Setia State seat in Selangor then, he went on to become, among others, a political secretary on to the Selangor Menteri Besar, a deputy speaker at the State Assembly, and a State ESCOM member. Despite all political experience, though, Nick Nazmi, now 41, was surprised when he received the call to join the cabinet as the new Natural Resources, Environment and Climate Change Minister in 2022. He has dealt with issues of education, science and technology, and human capital during his time in Selangor government and in Parliament, has spoken out on matters relating to defence and budget. Those were the things I focused on, not this portfolio. In a way, I was surprised, but anyway, it is a privilege, and this is not the sort of job that you can demand. The Prime Minister appoints me. It is a privilege and honour to serve, he says during a one-to-one interview at his ministry in Putrajaya on February 22nd, 2023. It's not just an appointment of a relatively young minister that is a surprise. Previously, there are two ministers, the Energy and Natural Resources Ministry and Environment Water Ministry, and the Environment and Water Ministry, helmed by two ministers, Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim's premiership, and two have been folded into one and has also had climate change added on. In other words, it's a larger portfolio with all the extra responsibilities that came with it. It's also a large portfolio that The job comes with two offices and two ministry buildings. One where we met the minister on the 9th floor of block F11 in Precinct 1 for the interview, and the other Wisma Sumber Asli overlooking the boulevard in Precinct 4. Datuk Nazmi asked Anwar, whose office joined in 2006, why he was tapped for this big job. You don't ask questions like that. Ni Azmi laughed with a laugh. His first reaction, he admits that it is a huge responsibility with a very steep learning curve, as it is a rather technical and scientific portfolio, especially for someone schooled in law rather than science. There's a lot of international commitments we have pledged and all those types of things. I knew that there would be a lot of work from the get-go. It is a big ministry and a very big profile one. It is and it's very crucial, he adds, pointing out that the portfolio often receives one of the largest allocations in annual budget, as well as most number of questions in parliament. In the 2023 budget tabled by Anwar on February 24th, 2023, Ni Azmi's ministry received an allocation of 6.53 billion ringgit. Crucial is the right word because Nick Nazmi is taking over the portfolio when Malaysia, along with the rest of the world, is becoming increasingly vulnerable to the impacts of climate change. This is also a time when Malaysians are getting more educated and vocal about environmental issues. Oh, and not to mention the quick successions of ministers and government since 2020, starting with the collapse of Pakatan Harapan administration just as the world was hit with a pandemic. It left the government in a bit of a mess, obviously. The difficulty and urgency of his task is becoming that Nazmi has experienced personally in his work as an MP. On top of his appointment taking place during the flood season in December, he has since had to deal with issues such as environmental impact assessment (EIA) report and complaints over tunneling for sewage, electricity, and water in his constituency, and all comes under the direct purview of his ministry. Even his family, according to Ni Azmi, is surprised by the staggering amount of ministerial work he has to do. Before this, they knew that I was busy. I was an MP and a party vice president, but they did not realize that I would be this busy and engaged when I occupied this ministry. It's 3 or 4 times as busy as previously, he says, confessing to having spent a lot of his first month in the office catching up to policy papers. Acutely aware of the large amount of ground he has to quickly and expertly cover under the portfolio, Nick Nazmi credits the ministry capable civil servants for aiding him, as well as engaging with experts from the outside. In fact, making a difference from previous ministers, he has made it a point to meet environmental activists and conversation groups for their feedback a few times every month. And he's comfortable admitting that some of these activists are even younger than him and more knowledgeable to boot. One of those things that is really noticeable in this era of Greta Thunberg. Many of these activists are young and they are passionate, but they also know the stuff, sometimes more than what we older people know. So that's very inspiring, he says, referring to the teenage Swedish climate activists who have galvanized youth around the world to take action. They keep me on my toes. They ask me difficult questions. I find it useful. You need to have a better perspective, he notes. The message he has to see for these activists, some of whom are still in their teens, is that he is taking the issue of climate change seriously. Malaysian's Nick Nazmi is convinced he have reached a tipping point when it comes to environmental issues like climate change, and are now ready to take changes to their lifestyles to accommodate pledges like countries' international commitment to achieve net zero in carbon emission by 2050. Obviously, it might not be as big as an issue as in Europe or Australia, but I think it's sizable, it's big enough. Many people in the government and corporate sector are talking about it, but whether they have the right objective or they have the right issues with it, at least the broad picture is that the people are talking about it, and I think that's important. Obviously, it's still a challenge, he adds. To Nick Azmi, measures and policies like achieving net zero in carbon emissions, encouraging cities to go low carbon, investing in renewable energy, or mitigating climate change are just a matter of life and death, but actually have good business sense in this day and age. More and more investors, when they come in, they want to see what is the ESG, environmental, social and governance aspect of things. How much RE are you using? That is a big selling point, he contends. How is he going to handle this hugely important portfolio without making mistakes in the next few months? I think what's more important than not making mistakes is how you learn and how to move forward. You don't dwell in it. That's the most crucial thing. If I want to approach that is not about making mistakes, I would probably give PDF statements rather than meeting the press. And I think I will have I think I have been very open with the press. The following excerpts from our interview. This is long. Bye bye. Now for probably news in Malaysian. See. Oh, here. Keluar. Gempa bumi di Turki, 200 kontraktor ditahan. Turki ni in right now. Okay, Kanada larang TikTok dalam semua peranti kerajaan. We have who puts music in news? Okay, Trenton. Kanada mengharamkan TikTok dalam semua peranti kerajaan atas sebab keselamatan. Dan ia mungkin menandakan permulaan tindakan lanjut terhadap aplikasi itu. Kata Perdana Menteri Justin Trudeau pada Isnin. Ini mungkin langkah pertama, mungkin satu-satunya langkah yang perlu kami ambil. Dengan setiap tindakan yang kami buat bertujuan memastikan keselamatan warga Kanada. Kata Trudeau pada pemberita sejurus lepas larangan itu diumumkan. Lapor agensi Anadolu. Kami memandangkan serius kebebasan bersuara, kebebasan warga Kanada mengikut kehendak mereka ketika dalam talian. Namun kerajaan mempunyai prinsip yang sangat penting dalam perlindungan data, perlindungan keselamatan dan keselamatan warga Kanada yang akan sentiasa kami pertingkat, katanya. Global Affairs. Kanada menghantar email menasihati pekerjanya membawa aplikasi platform perkongsian video itu kini diharamkan susulan semakan oleh Ketua Pegawai Negara itu. Larangan itu berkuat kuasa pada Selasa. Kebimbangan terhadap aplikasi TikTok timbul apabila firma induk TikTok milik syarikat teknologi ByteDance Beijing membenarkan kerajaan China mengakses maklumat peribadi pengguna TikTok. Tindakan diambil susulan siasatan ke atas TikTok yang diumumkan oleh kerajaan minggu lalu yang mendapati aplikasi itu menunjukkan tahap risiko terhadap privasi dan keselamatan yang tidak boleh diterima, kata Mona Freuter, Presiden Lembaga Pendaharaan dalam suatu kenyataan. Beliau berkata, sehingga kini tiada bukti bahawa maklumat kerajaan telah dikompromi. Okay, habis. Seterusnya, gempa bumi di Turki. 200 kontraktor ditahan. The hell is that design? Ankara dikemas kini. Pihak berkuasa Turki menahan hampir 200 kontraktor atas dakwaan melakukan kerja pembinaan bangunan tidak mengikuti spesifikasi ditetapkan kerajaan, sehingga puluhan ribu bangunan ranak dalam bencana gempa bumi dahsyat awal bulan ini. Menurut Kementerian Perkhidmatan Turki, seramai 226 individu dinamakan sebagai suspek yang dikaitkan dengan kejadian bangunan runtuh sepenuhnya atau rosak teruk berikutan gempa bumi. Namun sebahagian daripada suspek itu sendiri dilaporkan maut dalam gempa bumi tersebut, manakala polis kini masih giat memburu yang lain. Antara individu yang ditahan termasuk seorang datuk bandar yang mana bandarnya terjejas teruk akibat gempa bumi itu. Sabtu lalu, Menteri Perkhidmatan Bekir Bozdang berkata, bukti sudah dikumpulkan dan 184 suspek ditahan selain 113 waran tangkap dikeluarkan berkaitan kerja-kerja pembinaan di seluruh negara itu. Gempa bumi kuat berukuran 7.8 skala Richter yang melanda tenggara Turki pada tenggara Southeast pada 6 Februari lalu telah menyebabkan lebih 5,700 bangunan di zon bencana ranak sehingga menimbulkan persoalan mengenai integriti struktur di beberapa kawasan di wilayah yang terjejas. Bencana alam itu turut meragut kira-kira bencana alam tersebut. Apa tak guna tersebut? Turut meragut kira-kira di 50,000 nyawa termasuk di negara jiran Syria. Agency. Who the fuck is the translator? Penganggur didakwa edar dadah 2.16 juta. Keluang seorang penganggur ditahan dihadap ke mahkamah magistrate di sini di Keluang pada Selasa dan 4 pertuduhan mengedar 43.17 kg dadah pelbagai jenis dianggarkan bernilai 2.16 juta 2 minggu lalu. Tertuduh Ngengkah Jun 27 mengangguk faham selepas pertuduhan dibacakan di dalam bahasa Mandarin, namun tiada pengakuan direkodkan di hadapan Hakim Mujib Saroji. Berdasarkan pertuduhan, tertuduh didakwa pengedar 37.42 kg dadah jenis ekstasi selain 3.24 kg eramin 5 dan 2.5 kg dadah ketamin. Kesalahan tersebut didakwa dilakukan pada jam lebih kurang 1:30 petang. Ni pun di sebuah rumah di Jalan Birada 2, Taman Suria di sini pada 16 bulan lalu. Pertuduhan dibuat mengikut Seksyen 13B1A Akta Dadah Berbahaya 1952 dan boleh dihukum mengikut Seksyen 39B2 Akta sama. Sekiranya disabit kesalahan, tertuduh berdepan hukuman gantung sampai mati atau penjara seumur hidup selain dikenakan tidak kurang 15 jabatan. Kes dikendalikan Timbalan Pendakwa Raya Siti Nurfara Fazilun Izilin Ahmad manakala tertuduh tidak diwakili peguam. Mahkamah menetapkan 3 Mei sebagai tarikh sebutan semula kes dan seranan laporan kimia selain tiada jaminan ditawarkan kepada tertuduh. Habis dah, malas.